So today we're gonna go over our Privy, how to use Privy. We're gonna look for Privy to find buyers. If you guys are struggling right now, you don't know what actions to take, what to do, follow us on our live. That's literally what we're doing. We're showing you exactly how to use Privy. We call it working backwards. It's called painless wholesaling, where you, instead of going to find a deal, just find deals nonstop. You find the buyer first, find out where people are buying, and that's exactly what Privy's built to do. Privy's built to show you where the investor activity is, and then you find deals, right? Let's see. I want to show people really quick how you can use Privy to find deals. So what you do, depending on whatever area you're in, you just go and you filter whatever you want, whatever you're looking for. You go actives, single family. You can actually put in a zip code or address and it will search it, or you can just zone in on where you want. You go fix and flip. You got pop top, tear down, whatever, and you just put a specific percent of ARV, and then you can filter for whatever you're looking for, and you run your search. Now, right here, this is going to pull up properties that meet the criteria. So if you're like, okay, look how crappy this house is, right? You see this, and you can go and make an offer on it, right? You can go down here and it will show you comps of what it believes that the house is worth if it has enough data. Another thing you can do is look at before and after. So what happened is these people bought it in 2022. What they did is all they did was cut down the tree and mow the lawn. And they're trying to sell it. That's pretty interesting for what they did. So we can make an offer on this property if we wanted to. There's other opportunities that you can make offers on. So that's kind of how you do it. You just look for opportunities in areas that you have buyers for, right? And what I can do if I want to find buyers is, this one kind of crept in somehow. I don't know why it crept in as a fix and flip when it's been repaired. Maybe because I think what Privy does is it takes and sees if it's lower than the area. Like, so maybe they're just selling this at a good price still. But what you can do is you can call the agent that represents the property that's listed, and you can ask them for buyers. So that's how I find buyers on Privy, is I would call agents, or you can call the owner, right? But I like working through agents, because agents, right here you have the owner, but sometimes it's difficult to get a hold of the owner. So I just look at call the agent. So let's call this agent really quick, and let's see if they're buying in the towns I have a property, and let's see if they're buying, if their buyers currently like still active. So let's see. I think certain Privy accounts, if you're an agent, they give you the contact info, but I'm not an agent, so I think I just search it. So let's go Jessica. All right, this is her, I think. 678. Let's give her a call.
Hey, you've reached Jessica Tills. Leave a message.
I always call twice, just in case. Come on, Jessica, step up. It's weird that it went straight to voicemail, but this time it rang.
She has it on Do Not Disturb.
Is that right?
Yeah, the way Do Not Disturb works is first time someone calls, it pushes everything straight to voicemail. But if you call like within I don't know, it's like 2 or 3 seconds. Like if it's the same number and it immediately calls right again, it'll go through.
Gotcha.
I know that because my phone's always on.
Jessica Tills, leave a message and I will call you back as soon as possible. Thanks so much. Bye.
Hey, Jessica, how you doing? This is Nathan. I saw your listing in Marietta, Georgia, and I was calling you because it looks like you represent flippers in the area. So I'm a wholesaler. I have a property under contract that's like right next to yours in the same area. And I was wondering if you know any agents, or not agents, I'm sorry, any cash buyers that are buying in the area, because I'd love to work with you. I'm willing to pay a commission, your commission out of what I make for wholesaling it. But if you work with wholesalers, please call me. I come across a lot of deals. Please let me know. I'd like to work with you if we can. Thank you. Bye. Okay, something like that. Simple, right? You can also look at other properties, right, that might be fix and flip opportunities and call agents. That's what I do. I'd like to call agents that represent flips because that lets me know if they are, they work with flippers, right? And it's pretty simple. I don't know if that one got flipped. It looks like a newer build. Looks dope. It's a dope house. Let's see if it got flipped. Down here, it usually says below and before and after if it got flipped. Maybe that's just a new build. But anyway, guys, there's some cool houses around here. Look at this house before they flipped it, dude. Freaking just in the weeds. So I showed you guys how to find deals. Oh, my website. Okay, my website is investorthrive.com. Investorthrive.com. And if you scroll down past this part where if you want to get on a call with me, here's your noob starter pack. So it gives you everything you need. Nathan Valley, your method is leaving a voicemail vague in comparison to Nathan Payne's.
Yeah, so we like two different methods. So guys, that's another thing is you can have different styles. So I was just talking about this today, Nathan, so personally for me, I like when I leave voicemails, I like to leave them vague. Like just be like, oh, hey, Rob, it's Nathan. Give me a call back when you get a chance. Thanks, bye. And I do that because I like to leave it a bit vague to where, like friendly tone, energetic. They're like, okay, this dude's talking to me like he's a buddy of mine, like I know him, but they're like, I don't think I know him. But I don't like letting them know what I'm calling about to keep that curiosity there so that they reach back out. But other people do it differently. And guys, it's the crazy thing? We both do deals.
Yeah, I think that's a great strategy, Nate. Like the reason why I'm not vague when I'm talking to agents like that is I just don't want to waste my time with someone that doesn't work with wholesalers. If she's immediately like, I told her, hey, I'm willing to pay you. I'm willing to do this and this and this, and I have a deal. I just need buyers, but I wholesale. If she doesn't call me back, then it's not worth my time, really, because I'm making too much calls and I'm doing too much to like waste my time. So yours, I get it, but I just different strategies, right?
Yeah, and people have different experiences. Like, for me, same thing with like sales. Guys, trust me, there's no shortage of people with different scripts and this and that. And my personal experience, what I found is a lot of the stuff from all of them is great. There's pieces of all of it that works, but you don't really know what works for you until you test it out. So same thing with the voicemail. It's test out yourself. Start with whichever kind of method you kind of like better and see what works well for you. And then tweak it or try something else and see what works better.
100%. A lot of people, Nathan, are asking like how to determine values. They're like, hey, how do I know what to offer? So I use Privy, but I also use this calculator that I've been showing everybody that all you do is you type in. So this guy just asked, if I have $1 million property, do I go in there and offer 700,000? The problem with the 70% rule is it's not always that cut and dry. You have hard money costs, you have commissions from agents, you have your hold time. Like, is it going to be a 3-month flip or is it going to be an 8-month flip? That all changes how much money you pay in costs, or your flipper does. Then you have your rehab. Is it a giant rehab? Is it a small? Is it a giant house? Is it a small house? That's why you need to be able to run your numbers. And the flipper needs to make 15 to 20% of the ARV for them to be interested in the deal. They won't do a deal if they make less than 10% because it's not worth their risk. So if this specific deal was $1 million home that needed $88,000 in repairs and you got it for 700,000, the flipper would not be making enough money according to these numbers, because look, that's $1 million. 10% of $1 million would be 100,000. So he's not making enough money. A flipper wouldn't do this deal if it required all that, right? So what you got to do is you got to get it low enough where it makes sense. So a flipper would definitely do that deal. He'd be like, yeah, freaking all day, I'll do that deal. So you just have to walk backwards and say, okay, he wants to make 15%. So he wants to make at least 150,000 on a flip that's worth $1 million, right? Then you would go and say, all right, so is it 600,000? No, it'd be 650 would be what a flipper would probably take this. Well, no, not 650, 610. Okay, around there. A flipper would probably take this deal around 610, but then you make no wholesale fee. So you gotta say, okay, how much could I make if he makes his 15%? Okay, that would work, right? If I got this deal at 610, I could wholesale it to someone for 620. They'd put 88,000 in on an 8-month rehab. Everyone's leaving happy. Everyone makes money. So there you go.
And if I could just add one quick thing to that, guys, the most important thing though on how to know what to offer is by knowing what your buyers.
That's right. Bam.
It always starts with the buyers, guys. That's why we push so hard about start with the end in mind. You know, start with those relationships with your buyers, because you have no clue. It doesn't matter if you get the property for 40% of ARV. If your buyer says, oh yeah, man, I'm actually only looking to buy it for 30%, then it's like you don't have a deal. Like, you don't get paid. You only are able to offer what your buyer's willing to pay. And the only way you know what they pay is by talking to them, you know?
Yeah. So if a lot of you are new and you don't have buyer relationships, that's exactly what you need to go do. Go find some buyers, talk to them, network with them, learn from them. And that's exactly what we tell people to do. That's what we're doing in our challenge. So if you haven't watched us and how we talk to buyers, join, because that's exactly where, if you were to come to me and say, Nate, what do I do first? Talk to buyers. That's what you do. Everybody, this has been a great call. Next week, we'll dive more into how to find deals. Because like you said, it's a 30-day challenge. We're definitely using Privy as we go through this to find deals. I just showed you, there's about 3 or 4 I should be making offers on right now in my area. So peace out.